Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Coach's Corner with Dr. Kalind Bakshi and yours truly. Today, the subject that we want to kind of explore is, we've heard this common phrase from people that, just have a positive attitude, just look at the bright side and things will work out. Or, it's the way you look at things determines the outcome. And a lot of these phrases that many times we look at them great, but how do I sort of get there? And I would love to get your thoughts on this, Dr. Bakshi, about how do you develop, what are some tools, or how do you develop an attitude like that so that it can align with the universe, or aligns in a way where you're in a position for success, or you can overcome challenges in a better way.
That's a very good question, Maulik. And, often I have observed this part of it, that attitudes are the outcome of past experiences many times.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have had a very good experience in the past about something, then your attitude towards doing something or being something or attempting something will be different. Because you're dealing with some positive recordings that has happened in your brain.
Sure.
And that's your subconscious already telling the conscious mind, wow, I can do this. Like, this is it. So you'll approach the same, it may be the same or any other challenge that comes through in a different way. And if you follow that, your own example of what success you have had, how good you are, what are the various positives that you do possess, value system, for example, that you learned during your childhood or growing up.
Sure.
Once you follow those things, you are on a stronger footing going forward. But if you take examples from somebody else's experience, and particularly if that's negative, in this world, there's a lot of negative experiences and people succeed or not.
Sure.
And now the attitude can change, and all of a sudden you'll quote those experiences and your attitude will be not so positive. And then you will talk to yourself about saying, gee, I don't know if it will work. And you'll start shrinking, you'll start doubting yourself, you start, not attempting stuff. So the attitude, while it is based in the past, it projects in the future, and decisions that you make in the present for create them in the future.
Sure.
So
okay.
that's in a short, understanding about it. And going forward about it, attitudes are not only just in the mental phenomenon, the thoughts and emotions, good upbeat emotions, upbeat thoughts, they're good attitudes. But the expressions, speech, will indicate what the attitude is towards a person. So if somebody expresses, all the negative things all the time, what's going around,
sure,
it's not good. And then the last part that I want to mention, this is very interesting to me, because as I think about it, if I start sitting on a judgment, not for myself, not anymore, but for somebody else, I start judging people. That's not necessarily a good attitude either. Then right. I pass comments and stuff like that. So that becomes a bad attitude.
Okay. No, that's great. I think the other part that I've tried is, and we've talked about this before, is genuinely speaking to yourself in a positive way. So, I can't go 0 to 100 myself, where if something happens, I can't be like, it is meant to be, it is the reason, it's perfectly the way it was supposed to happen. I can't do that. I'm too practical as of a person. But I can definitely say that, okay, this happened, I can overcome, or this happened, I can do better. And sort of incrementally change that internal dialogue and start putting some action towards mitigating the situation, or moving in a direction that is more positive, or just more neutral sometimes, and that helps cultivate and go in that right direction so that
Yeah.
the attitude can be developed.
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting about this is that how are you looking at a situation? Every bad situation, something good in it. How do you look at it? Can you consistently find something good in a situation? What could be the good? It's a question you ask yourself. Now, it's going to be very hard to find good in a tsunami or an earthquake or or something
Right.
that we are experiencing right now.
Right.
But if you just think about it, right now WhatsApp and Facebook and everybody, the whole social media is buzz with what are the fantastic positives that they are experiencing being with the family and all the other stuff. I'm not going to go into details, but my goodness, I'm amazed at how much positive people are finding about this whole lockout situation.
Sure.
So that question about awareness of, can you find something positive in any given situation? That also builds an attitude.
Okay. Yeah, and the other thing is, and I don't know if you agree with this, but one of the things I've realized is if in situations where you may not be in a position to actually, or at least my case, I'm not in a position to actually in the moment evaluate and ask that question to myself, or I may be asking that might just frustrate me as a person. So one of the things that I actually do is almost go in like a hyper focus mode in the moment. I'm not looking at past, because most times that attitude defined by what you think is going to happen, or what is the repercussion of something. Instead, just being in that moment of whatever I'm doing, mindfulness, if you may say, or however. But that allows me to kind of just get in the zone where I can sort of center myself in a way, in even if it's the most mundane activity that I'm doing right then, and then work myself out of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, that at least it allows negativity not to affect your current situation or present thoughts or actions. I mean, that's very true. And again, one of the things that I always mention, and again, it's not one attitude. The greatest attitude is of gratitude. It says gratitude is the greatest attitude possible. And why is that? I often think about that. You're grateful for something. So it's not that you did something, or you may have done something, but the outcome is dependent upon either circumstances, somebody else's help, or God, or divinity, or whatever is the invisible force that you ascribe this to, and you're being grateful to that. So gratitude is obviously one of the greatest attitudes that one could have.
That's true. That's true. And I know we're gonna have a follow-up conversation and some things that we're that we feel can really help each one of us to bring out that gratitude, that feeling of positivity, in whether you're at home or otherwise, but even in these current circumstances, how to maximize that. So definitely look forward to having that conversation and sharing some things, that the creative ideas about how we can engage in that way, and share positivity and develop that positive attitude about ourselves and the environment around us. So, that's fantastic. Last one point is, do you have any resources, or maybe it could be an activity, could be a book that can just help develop that attitude, or develop that mindset, if I may say, in looking at things in a positive light, or having that attitude?
Well, in reality, I could be naming many books, but I would just suggest something. Just go to either Google or maybe even on Amazon and say positive mental attitude, and you'll find loads and loads of books on that. And I don't think there is any one particular book, with a fantastic number of authors, and they are really, really good. So that's the only suggestion I would have in more general terms.
Sure. One I'll say, and I know this is one of your favorites as well, is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Dr. Shad Helmstetter. is a fantastic book. The book is really about self-talk, and that's a different conversation altogether. But it gives you an idea about how just speaking to yourself in a appropriate manner, and in a way that you will it can alter your attitude and then lead to action and habits and actions and so on and so forth. But that's a great resource to have and to look at.
Yeah.
And the
Agreed.
other suggestion is just listening to some of the podcasts out there that really just talk about it could be story based podcasts, it could be podcasts that are specifically about positive mental attitude. A lot of the famous authors have them, but just feeding your mind with some of that while you're going about your day is a great way to approach it as well, from my
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds very good.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, and we will see you again tomorrow.